Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle Martin, and today we're doing the 10 top gifts for Plein Air Painters in 2020. And we're doing this for Plein Air Vlogmas. We're doing this for day 6 of Vlogmas, so enjoy. So let's get right into the video. The first item on the list is a panel holder. Plein Air painters love working on small panels. And one problem that Plein Air painters have is, what do you do with a wet oil painting after you take it off the easel and before you get it back to your studio? You don't want to have paint smudges all over your car where the painting flips over and lands face side down in the dirt or something like that. The solution is getting a panel holder. You can just slip a panel right into the panel holder. You have little dividers in there. Panel holders, depending on the kind that you get, you can hold up to like a half dozen or more panels. 6x8 is a great size for working in plein air. I just know that your artist is gonna love having a 6x8 inch panel holder. That way, next time that they go to Italy, they can have a panel holder to take with them, something that's lightweight that they can transport their paintings safely home. Item number 2 is a 300-pound block of Arches watercolor paper. Every artist loves Arches paper. Every artist is going to love a block of Arches. The paper is 100% rag, so it's entirely cotton. It's made in the old world style, and it's a product from back in time that is still thankfully manufactured now. Arches paper traditionally makes watercolor paper, but you can even branch out and think about getting your artist some printmaking paper from Arches. Or you could even try out their Arches oil paper, which is a new paper that came out maybe 10 years or so ago and is specially formulated to paint with oils on paper. Who would ever paint oil on paper? Well, Arches has made that possible. You could just get them a small little block of Arches and they'll be so happy when they open that gift. It's a very thoughtful gift. They're gonna love it. You're going to be the star, and they're going to use it. At the end of the day, they're going to use Arches paper. Number 3 on the list is a koi watercolor sketch box. This little koi watercolor sketch box is just something that your artist is going to love. It's a very small box, and what it's made for is it's made to hold in your hand and paint watercolor while you're right out in the field. So if you're going to get this for your artist, they're going to have this little watercolor box that during their next trip to Chicago or New York City, they're going to be able to take this little watercolor box along with them, and they're going to have access to a great palette of colors, and they're going to do a little plein air painting when they're short on time. The colors take so much less time to complete than an oil painting. They're just quick, they're easy, you can just kind of sketch one out very quickly, and you can enjoy yourself while you're doing it. This koi set actually has some pretty good paint in it. You get a water brush with this set. The water brush is really cool. It's a brush that holds water in the handle of the brush. So with just a little squeeze, you can get a little drop of water out. So all they really would have to take with them while they go out sketching is the water brush and this box and something to paint on. Brushes are the coolest thing. Subsection, gift 3.B. Get your artist a water brush, one that they can squeeze the water right out of onto their watercolor palette, and it's a cool, maybe they haven't seen one before. They're kind of a well-known tool, but not everybody has seen one. I think that they're really gonna like the koi watercolor set that includes the... Number 4, how about a new brush? In this list I wanted to stay away from, get your artist a new set of oil paints or something like that. I personally would love to get a gift of any sort of a tube of paint, because I like trying them all. If you think you want to give me a gift, just leave a comment. Don't necessarily buy your artist a gift of paint, but you could. But a brush is something that is very cool, and it's a gift that when they open the package, they're gonna just love this gift. Think about it like this. A brush is something that your artist holds in their hand while they're making their paintings. When they open up a gift, they're holding it in their hands. This is gonna be something that makes sense to your artist. It's gonna feel familiar to them. It's a gift that they're gonna love, and they're gonna really appreciate it. Now, a good quality brush is something that can hold up for a couple of years. I really like the Princeton 6300 synthetic brushes. Those things are workhorses. They're synthetic bristles, so unlike natural hog bristle, they don't wear down when you're painting super hard. when you're just scrubbing in that canvas. Bristles aren't gonna go shooting out everywhere, poke you in the eye. How about a Princeton 6300 brush, and maybe one that costs like $20 to $30? Like maybe a size 12, maybe a size 16 if they have it. A size 20 is great for people who like to work on those big canvases. The size 20 is probably like this thick. Oil painter, they're gonna love it. You can even work with that with acrylic or even watercolor probably. If it is a water media person, get them a cat's tongue brush. Look up what a cat's tongue brush is. It's the watercolor brush that I would use if I was stranded on an island. One last plug, Jerry's Artorama has a great set of brushes called the Power Curl brushes. I get those in flats, that's what I personally use. When they're on sale, they're like 15 bucks, 10 bucks. Number 5 on our list is a good book. Artists would appreciate a good book, and especially if they're of the plein air persuasion, they might really appreciate one of these books that I'm going to talk about. Number 1 book that I kind of recommend to people, especially if it's like a how-to book situation, would be by Charles Sovek, and it's titled Oil Painting, Develop Your Natural Ability. This book is great because it's divided into little like day-long lessons. And it goes kind of like, it has a very chunk for people who have never even picked up a brush. So the first week that you're painting, this is like a really helpful chapter for you to learn about. Then they have a whole section on values, and he prescribes different activities that you can do throughout a week, or you can do it at your own pace. He just lays out from very basic ideas all the way up to some very advanced ideas on landscape painting. It's a beautiful book. It's laid out very well. I think his teaching method, he brought a lot of charisma to his workshops. Even if they're like a professional artist and they're selling in galleries, nobody knows it all. And Sovek really lays out a lot of concepts that are so fun. It's on Amazon. I think I've never paid more than $10 for a copy. Which artist is gonna love it? Charles Sovek, Oil Painting, Develop Your Natural Ability. Another book that's really good that I have is Groupie on Painting, Emil Groupie. He was like a painter from out east. I love this book. I don't know why. Maybe it's sentimental because it's one of the first oil painting books that I ever bought myself when I started landscape painting. It's kind of a how-to book. They're going to find out a lot of really good lessons in there. They're going to learn about different materials that they can use. It's just fun. He talks about the split complementary palette, which is kind of what my palette is based off of. He talks about how to draw for painting. Drawing for painting is quite a bit different than drawing for drawing. So the Emil Groupie book. Most frequent question, and the reason that people take my workshops more than any reason, is that they're interested in learning more about color. There is a book titled Color, How to See It, How to Paint It. That's a great book. It has lessons in it. It talks all about mixing color. I think that when I was learning to paint, I think that my instructor had actually taken a lot of ideas from this book when it came to painting in color. It's going to talk about mixing with a palette knife. It's going to be talking about how to set up your subject matter. People really do come to me with a lot of questions about color. My copy is on loan right now, otherwise I'd probably be holding it up right in front of the camera right now. Don't loan your art books out. You won't see them back. Color, how to see it, how to paint it, for the budding colorist, for anybody who has questions about color. Lois Griffel, as a sidebar, has a book as well. Impressionistic Color, how to see and paint impressionistic color, something like that. It's out of print. If you can find it, buy it. That one is a good one too. Number 7 is a super easy one, and you don't even need an art store for this one. A studio plant. I am getting ready to unveil my new studio, and when I do, I'm going to be taking Bella's corn plant upstairs for the studio tour. So bringing a little life into your studio, you know, it's like bringing a breath of fresh air into your studio. Your work is going to be better. You're going to have somebody to talk to in those moments. Don't know where your painting is headed. It's a refreshing thing. Nature is good. All artists love nature. Maybe like a tall plant, maybe a pineapple tree, I don't know. Number 8 is a piece of equipment that I just invested in. It's a piece of equipment that after I used the first time, I realized I never could do without this. And I also realized that it was stupid that I hadn't bought this. And that is a daylight lamp for above your easel. I have been painting over in corners in studios with terrible light on my panel for the past 12 years. This lamp attaches right to your easel. It's a long bulb and there's like a million little LEDs in there, and it just perfectly illuminates your canvas. The one time that I used it, I was finishing up this commission painting that I was working on, and it was a 24-inch by 36-inch painting. I put this light in and I put it above the easel, and it just illuminated everything perfectly. I was so happy. I could see the true color. This bulb is calibrated to be the perfect color to work under as an artist. I would say if somebody had given me this as a gift, I probably would take care of them in old age. So great gift for your artist is the daylight lamp. Number 9 is also, we're getting to the top of the list here. Number 9 means it's 90% of 100%. Number 1, we started with number 1, but number 1 was like a good gift, but it wasn't the best gift. Number 9 is almost the best gift. So number 9 is a combination gift. It's two things. It's a trash bag and also a brush holder from Artwork Essentials. So Artwork Essentials makes the pochade box, the clamshell box that opens up, people put it on their tripod, and then they stand out in the field and make paintings on it. The company that makes some really good ones. I use this trash bag every day that I paint. If I'm hiking away from the car, I can fit like a 9 by 12 inch panel in there. I can fit my value holder, I can fit my paper towels, I can fit all of my brushes, and it's just like a nice little tote to carry along with you. Then when you set up your easel, you attach it to the easel and you throw your used paper towels in it. Every artist needs a trash bag. Using a little plastic grocery store bag and attaching it to your easel is not the way to do it, because it just doesn't work as well. There's a brush holder as well. It's like a brass brush holder, and it's sold to be used on the EZL. I use it on my large format Gloucester easel, the Beauport. You could use it on the Take It easel. I also use it on my French easel. It's just a good brush holder, and it's a no-nonsense brush holder. There's all these brush holders these days. People are charging big bucks for this injected plastic stuff. At the end of the day, you know what you need for your brushes? You need something that easily just clips to your easel, like one-handed, it's on your easel. It doesn't have working, moving parts. Painting is old school. They didn't have fancy brush holders. Back in the day of Claude Monet, they didn't have fancy brush holders. He probably just put his on the ground. I don't know what he did. It's gonna last for their entire lifetime. It's gonna last it's gonna last that person's lifetime, and it's gonna last their kid's lifetime. The trash bag too, I've had mine since 2012. I don't plan on getting another one. I think it costs like $15. Great gift. It's something that your plein air artist is gonna use every day. We've reached the end of the list. We just have one last thing to talk about, and it's the coolest gift for any plein air painter. It's cheap, it's easy, it's also something that you can find locally, or you don't need an art store, and that is a cigar box. Artists love their little wooden boxes. If you think about what a pochade box is it's basically just a cigar box. It's a palette in the bottom of the box, and then the lid flips up and you put the painting palette there. There are the coolest ideas online for how your artist could use this cigar box, just a plain old cigar box, and convert it into a super awesome outdoor painting setup. It can be your whole studio contained within a cigar box. And I know that I personally have created 3 different pochade boxes from cigar boxes. One of the last times I used my cigar box, I was out in Madison, and I had it strapped across my shoulder, and I went to the Union, just popped it open. I had 2 panels in the lid, and I just did a little sketch of the Union. You can have supplies at the bottom of the cigar box and then put a plexiglass palette on top. When you open the box up, you could just take the plexiglass palette, put it to the side, squeeze your colors out, and then use your cigar box that way. You could create a really awesome way to hold plein air painting panels on the lid of the cigar box. You don't really have to go overboard with the way that you connect the panel to the lid. I just use binder clips and clip the panel to the lid. I have spent months of my life, not days, but months of my life poring over different ideas for how to make pochades, all that kind of thing. Besides all that, cigar boxes, they just bring a different... Cigar is something that could be viewed as it's like a distinguished thing. They have a nice smell to them. They have a good aura. They're often like a amber color. It's just a very rich, warm, and inviting box, and I just know that they're gonna open it up and they're gonna have fun with it, and they're gonna take their time, and they're gonna make their own little pochade box out of their cigar box. If you're looking for more ideas, you know, there's other things to do, like you could send your artist to a workshop or something like that. You know, I happen to teach a lot of workshops and I love doing it, and there's so many other great gifts for artists. Honorable mention would be a 6" by 8" 12-pack of Centurion oil prime panels from Jerry's Artorama. That would be really awesome. Every plein air artist loves painting 6" by 8". It's just a fun little size. You can make great little paintings. And anyway, you guys, thanks so much for sticking with me for this video. This has been the top gifts for plein air artists in the year 2020. Leave a comment. What's your favorite gift? What would you give somebody? What are you giving somebody? I just want to hear from you. Leave a comment below. What do you think is the coolest gift for an artist in 2020? Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for checking this video out. Leave a comment. It's good to see all of you. All right, happy holidays.